All right, so I got a new vise, and it's affixed to this 5x12 piece of plexiglass, which sets on this ultra sticky piece of rubber, and that's just set down on my workbench. You can tell. I mean, if I jiggle this, it doesn't go anywhere. Now, if I lift it, it's gonna lift the plexiglass off the rubber. But if I set it securely down, it stays in place there. So the type of vise is actually, it's a Yakamoz Mini Bench vise suction. And there are no rubber pads or anything like that for the edges of the vise, but this nice rag should suffice to protect your more delicate things that you may want to clamp. Personally, I don't think the master lock, number 3 is gonna become damaged, from this, but if anything, I'd worry about damaging the edges of the vise itself. So maybe we will put this in here and then give this a clamp. And we're going to test this thing out to see if it secures the lock while we attempt to pick it. And I'm very used to picking locks while I hold the lock in my left hand and I work the tool with my right. But as you work the tool with your right, you're also moving the left, which is, accounts for more movement than you would think. So the whole, secure it to the vise and have zero movement of the lock and the key cylinder is a bit new to me. But in either event, this is the Covert Instruments Genesis tool. I've grabbed the .040 tensioner. I will use the larger end to apply bottom of the keyway tension. And I will also use the shallowest pick that came with the set. It is labeled 25. Let's see what the other one says. The other one says 25 as well, so that must be the thickness. It must be, I would guess, 0.25 in width. It doesn't necessarily categorize the depth, is what I'm guessing. But in either event, I have a new set on the way that should be here. Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so it should be here in 2 days from Jimmy Long's. And I'll do a good review on that set when it gets here. I've got some new locks on the way as well. I've got some Mindy locks, mainly because they're just beautiful. And then I have American Lock 1106 green. And I have a Pack Lock 90A Pro on the way as well. But yeah, we'll give this little number 3 here a couple taps and see what we can do to it. See if we can get her open. This should be a pretty easy lock to do. Not much feedback with this one. For some reason, I think maybe manufacturer tolerances or, whatever. I think I felt 2 pins there. It's tough to feel on these ones. There's pin 4. I released the tension, and then I felt pin 4. So I'm at pin 3. I feel a little bit of counter rotation. Something's not right there, so let me go to pin 2. Pin 4. Pin 4 is set. Pin 3, I've got some weird counter rotation. Let me reset everything. And let me feel pin 3. See what it's doing. It's not doing anything. Maybe I'm behind the pins. Let me reset everything again. Let me hit pin. I'm definitely at the back. There's pin 4. That little click might have been pin, that was pin 3. Okay, pin 2. Boom. Yeah. Let me look at the key. Yeah, see, pin 1 is just, I mean, it's such a, like, you basically just barely bump it. So I was correct. So when I said pin 2, this is where I was. And I must have just barely touched pin 1 and had it pop. But, okay, so pin 4 gets tapped a little. Basically, when I tap pin 4 on these, I've got my tool like this. And I'm basically tapping it like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's not perfectly on pin 4. I'm kind of, boom, at the end of the lock and kind of going like this. And I feel pin 4 set. And I kind of make my way up until I feel pin 4, which is here. And then I go until I feel the next one. Boom, set pin 3. Once I'm sure he's set, and you can see, right, if you look right here where pin 1 is, when I set pin 2, or I'm sorry, when I set pin 3, pin 1 is just, it's there. It's getting set inadvertently. So then when I get 2 kind of clicks. When I get them 2 clicks, I guess 1 and 3 are getting set. And then I move on to pin 2. And pin 2 is just kind of the guy that does all the work. And once I set pin 2, if the cylinder's not turning, something's not right, I guess. It's definitely an easier, I don't know. I mean, all locks to me are easier to pick when you're holding them in your hand. But I guess for the locks that I'm going to be moving on to, I need to really be able to put them in a vise and do them, because that's how quickly you can do it, holding them in your hand, when you can actually feel what you're doing. And I guess I have to kind of transfer that knowledge or that feel from the left and right hand to only doing right hand. But in either event, there's the Master Lock number 3. And that's a little brief review of the Yakamoz Mini Bench Vise. I'll put the actual name in the YouTube video. Thanks for watching. Have fun. Bye.